this is my audience. Where's Autumn? Okay.
What can you not live without? Obviously, the correct answer is Baja Blast from Taco Bell. No, but seriously, what do we need to survive? That answer is food and water. These are the two most important resources for us humans to survive that are life or death. Our food and water sources are continually being contaminated and resources dwindle, all due to plastic pollution. If plastic pollution continues to spread, there will be devastating consequences. Hi, my name is Jocelyn Vilak. The environment has always been a major concern and interest of mine. I am credible to talk about pollution as I have done various sustainability projects in school and I have taken classes, field trips to present my ideas to conventions in Pittsburgh. Plastic pollution is extremely dangerous. Not only does it raise health risks for humans, but it threatens the resources we need to survive, along with the entire planet itself. Everyone needs to adapt a more eco-friendly lifestyle and cut down on plastic use as it pollutes the environment, harms wildlife, and causes health risks to humans. Today, I will inform you about how plastic pollutes the environment, harms wildlife, and causes health risks to humans. First, I will begin by telling you about environmental plastic pollution. Plastics are detrimental to the environment. The UN Environmental Program cites plastic pollution as changing the natural processes of habitats, which limits an ecosystem's ability to adapt to climate change. Essentially, environments are able to adapt to climate change in small ways. However, plastics will interfere with this ability, causing great harm as habits die out as a result of being unequipped to change to these conditions. A main problem with plastic specifically, other than say paper trash or even metal trash, is the longevity of plastics. The United States Environmental Protection Agency states that plastic decomposition can take anywhere from 100 to 1,000 years based on studies, meaning plastic will stay in the environment for a long time after it is disposed of. The rate of plastic waste entering the environment versus completely decomposing out of it will always be unequal, with plastics entering at a much higher rate. Plastic pollution will continue to dramatically increase unless a joint conscious effort is made. Now that I've told you about environmental issues with plastic pollution, I will tell you about the wildlife harm it causes. Plastic pollution is increasingly harmful to wildlife as animals are greatly affected by plastic waste. Plastic causes two main issues for wildlife. One is ingestion and entanglement. This applies to both land and sea animals with devastating effects seen in every species. Animals will often mistake plastic for food sources. In a website by the National Geographic, they provide the example of sea turtles commonly mistaking plastic bags as jellyfish, and fish mistaking small plastic particles as the particles that usually occupy their diet. Animals will mistake plastic for food for a variety of reasons. Usually the look of the plastic will mimic food, such as the jellyfish in plastic bags, or there's now research that suggests that some plastic waste will smell similar to food sources, further misdirecting these animals. The other major risk for wildlife around plastic is them getting entangled in it. It is increasingly common to see animals, especially marine life, get trapped in plastic contraptions such as nets. The Plastic Soup Foundation, a nonprofit organization that battles plastic pollution, cites the many consequences of plastic entanglement of marine animals. These include reduced mobility, starvation, drowning, and suffocation. Animals may not be able to move, eat, or breathe properly due to being trapped in plastic and being restricted. Plastic types that trap animals range anywhere from fishing nets to plastic bags to plastic drink coolers for like soda. Now that I've told you about animal entanglement, I will inform you on the various health risks that plastic pollution exposes to humans. Plastic pollution is extremely dangerous to human health, and there are prominent links to various health issues. Plastics never fully break down and disintegrate, such as like paper. Instead, they get into smaller and smaller pieces called microplastics. The Stanford Medicine News report describes that 10 to 40 million tons of these particles are released into the environment every year. These Microplastics continue cycling through the environment and will cause numerous health risks for humans. As humans consume microplastics in increasing amounts, research indicates that the average human consumes about a credit card of plastic a week. The health risks become increasingly apparent. In an article by the United Nations Medical Development Program, it cites that endocrine disruption, weight gain, and insulin resistance, and decreased reproductive health, and even cancer as possible connections to plastic pollution. As plastic and microplastics are more of a new concern, there's still ongoing research that is being done to get a more in-depth understanding of the exact effects of plastic on human health, but nevertheless, it is impossible to ignore the harmful impact plastic shows in human health and the progressively larger amounts of plastic that humans are consuming. Now that I've told you about human health risks with plastics, I will conclude this speech. In conclusion, I have informed you about plastic pollution and explained how it harms the environment, wildlife, and people. Plastic pollution will inhibit an environment's ability to adapt and leaves it unable to function properly amidst climate change. Plastic is harmful to both animals and humans as eating this plastic will cause various health risks. Also, in the case of animals, they may become entangled in it, which will result in death. Everyone needs to adapt to a more eco-friendly lifestyle and cut down on plastic use as it pollutes the environment, harms wildlife, and causes health risks to humans. Plastic pollution is becoming an increasing problem today, and I want to ask you all to make a change today to help. Limit plastic consumption. This can include using reusable bags, containers, water bottles, recycling all acceptable plastic, and watching out buying items that have excessive plastic packaging. With these contributions, the battle on plastic can be fought and won. So the next time you're drinking your Taco Bell Baja Blast, make sure to recycle that plastic cup to fight against plastic pollution and save our valuable food and water resources.